Hi everyone, it's Christina from the Castaway Kitchen here with my son. This is Jack. Jack, say hi.
Hi.
Hi. So today we're going to be making my dairy-free coffee creamer. And let me tilt the camera down just a little bit so you guys can see the ingredients. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. So to make this creamer, we only need a handful of ingredients. Right, Jack?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna walk you through what we're using. So first I have cashews. So these cashews are whole cashews that I soaked in water for about 4 hours. And what I usually do is add them to my measuring cup, cover them with water, add some salt, let them sit. And then I drain them with a fine mesh sieve, which I use this one. And then I just rinse them. And then I drain them and put them in here. So we're gonna add these to the blender. So that's 1.5 cups of soaked cashews. Now, a few reasons why soaking cashews is great. Number one, cashews, unlike other nuts, they don't really have a skin. So if you're making like a nut butter or a flour or anything, cashews get like really smooth, and cashew milk is just so easy to make because you literally just have to soak and blend and that's it. Unlike almond milk that you have to strain it, right? So you don't need a nut milk bag. Other reasons why it's so great to soak them, other than it gets them super, super creamy, is that activating nuts, like soaking nuts with a little bit of salt, actually reduces the anti-nutrients, the phytic acid in nuts, which is the reason why people sometimes like react to them and they can be inflammatory. It's also something that can block nutrient absorption. As many of you know, I've been doing like a dairy, nut, and nightshade-free version of keto for a long time now. I've recently just added nuts back into my diet after my AIP keto reset. I really wanted to try some foods that I hadn't in a while, which is a testament to like my gut healing. And luckily I was able to introduce cashews, which are a really good option for people who don't like coconuts. When you're not doing dairy and you're eating low carb, paleo, and you're not doing a lot of nuts, it seems like coconut is everything, which is great. I love coconut milk cans, coconut cream. But it's really nice just to have something else to throw into the mix. Okay, back to the recipe. So we've got the cashews. Now, this is 1.5 cups of MCT oil. MCT oil is medium chain triglycerides, which is derived from coconut. I'm using this one from Whole Foods. It's the 365 brand. It's super cheap, people. I know mostly it's the kind of thing you have to go get at like on Amazon or a specialty store, but while there are a lot of fantastic brands that I love, like Wild Foods, like Perfect Ketones, it's kind of convenient to be able to walk into a Whole Foods and pick this up for like 15 bucks, especially when you're using it in something like this. Now, the great part of MCT oil, it's that unlike regular coconut oil, it won't harden in the fridge or when it's cold. It's always going to remain liquid, which is really important for this recipe, and that's why you can't use regular coconut oil. The second reason MCT oil is so great is because the medium chain triglycerides pretty much go straight to your liver and are turned into ketones, which for someone who's on a keto diet, that's like straight energy. So awesome. It helps you get into ketosis, helps you stay into ketosis. Put it in your coffee, it's like extra boost of energy. Sorry, so we like MCTs. So I'm gonna add in 1.5 cups of MCT oil. And I know that sounds like a lot, it is, but remember this makes a huge batch. So we've got 1.5 cups of cashews, 1.5 cups of MCT, 1.5 cups of filtered water. And in the recipe on the blog, you can use vanilla extract, but using vanilla extract makes it not, this one's such a handy, you see him smiling, makes it not Whole30 compliant. So I like to use vanilla bean, and I'll show you, like that's like the paste, you see that black stuff that you get from the vanilla bean? And I dropped it. Oh gosh, here we go. Okay, and I'll show you, so the way you cut a vanilla bean is I slit it down the middle, and then I kind of like open it, like you unfold it, and then you get your knife, and you very carefully just scrape down the whole thing, you see? So that's using the vanilla bean makes this Whole30 compliant. Woohoo! And the reason why the extract, even though it's unsweetened, isn't compliant is because Vanilla extracts are made with alcohol, and there is 0 alcohol on the Whole30. Okay, next thing we have is collagen peptides. Technically, you don't need the collagen peptides for this recipe to work, but I'm someone that I add collagen to my coffee every morning, or I add gelatin. The difference between gelatin and collagen is further processed. The proteins are broken down so it doesn't gel when it's cold. Here, Jack, you want to add this to the blender? Okay, just dump it in there.
That was so easy.
That was so easy, right? This is so easy. I would normally, if I'm just mixing my hot coffee in the blender, I would add some gelatin, which I like to use the Vital Proteins, the green can. But because this is a make-ahead creamer and this is going to go in the fridge and you don't want it to gel, we're going to use collagen, which would be the blue Vital Proteins container, which I didn't have for this. What I was using was this brand, which is the Ketology Collagen Peptides, which I just used the last of it for this. But the reason I like to add the collagen to this is because it's a little extra protein. It's been essential for my hair, like my hair, my nail health, my skin health. I like adding collagen to my coffee every day. Next thing, we're going to do a little bit of cinnamon, just about a teaspoon. I'm going to eyeball it. Here, Jack, you want to do the salt? Okay. Just get like a pinch. So I'm using pink Himalayan salt, which is pretty much what I always use to cook with. There you go. Good job. And the salt is really just for flavor. It also adds some trace minerals to the mix. Makes it taste really good. Okay, so we're gonna blend this up. Now I have a Vitamix, which as you guys know is like a monster blender. But if your cashews are properly soaked, it should blend up smooth in any blender. It just might take a little bit longer. So hold on, let me make sure this is plugged in. It is. Hold on. Okay, here we go. It's gonna get noisy. Bear with me. Okay, so that took all but like 30 seconds, and it's ready to go. Let me show you guys how smooth it is. To answer your question, Bree asked how long did it take before I was in remission. So that honestly, Bree, that's not relative because everyone, it takes a different, like, it's different for everybody. Just because for me, if it took 6 months, which it didn't, by the way. I did the AIP for 6 months. I was reintroducing foods before I was in remission because it was already obvious to me which foods were causing issues or whatnot. I have all of this information on my blog, people, about the autoimmune protocol, how I did it, yada, yada. Okay, let me show you guys how awesome this creamer is. So this is dairy-free cashew creamer. It's cashews, MCT oil, vanilla bean extract, a little bit of salt. And I keep my creamer, I like to store it in small mason jars because it's gonna make about 5 cups. And this recipe, you can freeze it, which is awesome. But we go through it pretty quickly. So I just like to, look how creamy that is. Yum. And it's completely unsweetened. I don't sweeten my coffee at all. If you're someone who likes to sweeten your coffee, feel free to add a little bit of stevia or whatever you like. But like I said, if you sweeten it, it won't be Whole30 compliant. Now, one of the reasons why I made this is because pour, stir, go. There's no blending needed. It doesn't separate. It doesn't get oily on top of your coffee. Because if you've tried to make bulletproof coffee or keto coffees before with the fat, what usually happens is when you stir in the coffee with your oil, you get a cup of coffee with a pool of oil on top, and it's gross. And then you have to go get a frother or get your blender, which I get it. I've been doing blending my coffee for, I don't know, years now, but we're moving soon. I don't know if I'm gonna have my blender for like a month while we're moving. So I was like, I need a better option. And while I know you can buy like nut pods at the store, I've never been able to use nut pods because they have emulsifiers. In general, a lot of store-bought dairy-free creamers, if you've looked at the dairy-free creamer options out there, it's scary. Like these crazy ingredient lists with all sorts of gums and thickeners, and those things give me headaches. They don't jive with my gut. So they've never been an option for me. So yeah, I made my own. Bonus, this costs way less than nut pods. I did the math. So nut pods come out to like $2.50 an ounce, and this recipe, while the ingredients up front, you're like, oh my God, $15 for the oil, $15 for the cashews, but you're paying per ounce about 50 cents for this recipe, whereas you would be paying like $2 or more per ounce for a store-bought dairy-free option. I know coffee can be such a hard thing for people when they're transitioning to paleo, to keto, giving up heavy whipping cream, even for people who have been keto for a long time, I know can be really troublesome. But with a recipe like this, that it's ready to go. You put it in the fridge, you make your coffee, you pour it in your coffee, you stir it, and you can walk out the door, and you don't have to do anything else or get your blender out. It makes it really really useful. So, oh look, Jack, Dee's watching. You want to say hi to Dee? Say hi, Dee. Hi, Dee. Dee's Jack's babysitter. We have to get you to come hang out with him again. Anyway, so that is my dairy-free coffee creamer. This recipe is on my blog, and there's like a little video. I did like a whole time-lapse video. I mixed it into coffee and let it sit, so you could see that it doesn't separate. If you mix it into your coffee, it's gonna stay mixed in and blended. It doesn't get clumpy in the fridge. It doesn't like get hard. You don't have to thaw it out. It really, like, I've been messing around with this for a while. For those of you who've been following me for a long time, you know that I have a cashew creamer on the blog, which is just like plain soaked cashews, which is really great because you can cook with it and whatnot. I know there's a lot of you who can't eat nuts, and believe me, for a long time, I haven't eaten nuts. I just started reintroducing cashews into my diet. It's been really great. And like I said, it's kind of nice to change it up because I've been coconut everything for so long. But yeah, I really hope you guys give this recipe a try. Obviously, it's super easy. Thank you, Jack, for helping. Yeah. So if you guys have any questions or anything, let me know. You can always DM me. I should get a cell phone back soon. If you guys don't know, my phone died. I should be getting one today, so I'll be back on Instagram doing these fun things. Yeah. See you around. Thanks for watching. Say bye, Jack.
Bye.
Bye.